It's another month with another patron requested review, and this is an interesting one. It's a documentary. Don't click away. It's about North Korea. Please don't go. I promise you'll like it. Titled The Lovers and the Despot, it details the infamous kidnapping case of a South Korean director and actress by Kim Jong-il. Why would he do that? Well, Kim Jong-il was a big film buff. He reportedly had a collection of tens of thousands of movies, and he had a particular affinity for the James Bond, Friday the 13th, and Godzilla movies. However, he was dissatisfied with the current state of the North Korean film industry. Yep, that was his main priority, not that North Korea had a terrible human rights record. The film mostly documents how Shin Sang-ok and his ex-wife, actress Choi Eun-hee, ended up working for Kim and their eventual escape. Since Shin died in 2006, we don't get to hear his perspective, and it mostly rests on Choi to tell her story, as well as recordings of Kim she somehow managed to get. The most fascinating part of the documentary comes from when it examines who Kim Jong-il was in comparison to his father. It's little surprise he has been so often satirized, because there was a lot to poke fun at, including his fashion sense, his theatrical personality, and frequent attempts at showmanship. Remember that scene in Team America where he puts on a big ceremony for the visiting diplomats? He would indeed put on these big productions just to show off. And he was so knowledgeable about filmmaking, he famously wrote an essay on the art of cinema. Really, the central figure of The Lovers and the Despot is not the director or the actress, but rather Kim Jong-il. He is the one who commands our attention the entire time. Surprisingly, the film barely goes into the movies Shin made when he was living in North Korea, and there's a lot to talk about. He was not forced to shoot in one genre, but rather try out multiple types of films. He made musicals, historical epics, and most notoriously of all, a Godzilla knockoff called Pugasari. And yet we only get to see minimal footage and discussion about these movies. But Kim Jong-il did have serious ambitions for the films, and they did manage to play at a couple of international film festivals, which was how Shin and Choi were able to escape. The film does delve a bit on the uncomfortable feelings Shin had while in prison in North Korea. On the one hand, he was able to make many films with a surprising amount of creative control about their content, and unlike in South Korea, did not have to worry about lack of funding. On the other hand, by staying in North Korea and making these movies, he was basically a prisoner. He sacrificed personal freedom for creative freedom, and most people would certainly want to get out of a dictatorship like that before the tables turned. Honestly, the story of Shin and Choi's abduction would make an excellent and entertaining movie, but Hollywood is not exactly chomping at the bit to make films about North Korea. You can blame that on a movie studio getting hacked and people's social security numbers and private emails being leaked, and instead of being sympathetic and showing support, people now mock this studio whenever the opportunity strikes. Sorry, I got on a personal soapbox there for a second. Back to The Lovers and the Despot. It's a slightly flawed documentary, and it would have benefited from further information about the actual film Shin made in North Korea. Yet, the talking heads provide some solid commentary and context for why Kim Jong-il kidnapped these two, as well as an exploration for who he is and what exactly it is that made citizens of North Korea forced to revere him. If this topic is one of interest and curiosity for you, it's worth giving a look. Now, if you excuse me, I feel like watching Team America World Police all of a sudden.